Alright, so I didn't think I would be back this quickly, but I am because I went to the garden center today to try and find a mugo pine to plant to the ground for a couple of years and eventually turn into a bonsai. And they did have one, but I mean, the branching was kind of weird. I didn't really like it. And so I went to Home Depot to see if they had any there, and they didn't. So I went back to the garden center, the nursery, and I said, okay, I'm going to buy that mugo pine. And then I was walking back to that area to get it, and out of the corner of my eye, I saw these, and these are bald cypress trees. It's something I've been wanting for years and years and years, so of course, mugo pine just completely went out of my head, and I was like, oh my god, bald cypress, I have to get this. It was cheaper too, so I was like, well, this is pretty good, because I think this is going to be a lot easier to work with than a mugo pine that's, you know, like in a little nursery gallon container. Thin trunk, honestly, with something like this, I'm going to put it in the ground, so we're going to do that really quickly pretty soon, because it's just kind of nonsense to work with something that's this thin, especially for a bald cypress, to have that sort of traditional look. I wanted to have that elongated base, a lot of thick roots, and we're going to have to do that in 2 steps. So number one, we're going to plant this into the ground just to get a thicker trunk. I might try and retain the foliage, even though I don't really need to. You can trunk chop a bald cypress and it's going to have latent buds that grow back, but I'm still going to try and retain most of these, and then just grow a leader as tall as I can and chop that off eventually. But then after a few years, once I feel like the trunk is thick enough, we're going to dig it out of the ground and put it into like a big cement mixing tub. And we're going to not have any drainage holes. It's just going to be sitting in kind of a tub of water. And when these sit in water, they develop more of that traditional bulky root system. I forgot what they're called now, but it's similar to how mangroves grow in the water, and they have these root structures that help them get oxygen. Bald cypress is a similar thing, so step 2, into that wet tub to develop the roots even further. I guess that's pretty much it. The only thing that is left to mention before I go dig this into the ground is that I'm going for sort of traditional bald cypress style, so we're not really doing anything that's like, you know, sort of the traditional sense of how to style a tree. We're going to do a very narrow, well, not really narrow, I mean a tall trunk with no foliage on it, and then most of the foliage is going to be sort of upper half, maybe even upper 1/3 of the tree. That's probably not true. I'll probably do about half because I kind of want some lower branches. Then we're going to do a really flat canopy, nothing triangular, just really flat and sort of spreading out, similar to kind of what you would see if you go down south into a swamp. These do like it to be a little bit more moist. If it dries out, I expect there's going to be lots of problems, but it's going to be in my yard where I can water it every day, so that shouldn't be a problem. So I'm going to just go and dig this into the ground right now. Alright, so this is where we ended up planting it, and it's not really the best area, but like I said, there really aren't too many options. Not the best because there's a lot of shade from this larger tree growing here, but what we're probably going to do is cut off a few of these branches so it gets more sunlight, because if we sort of take this out of here, you can see there's more sunlight. So we're going to chop some of these branches off. I don't really have any plans for how tall it's going to grow. Pretty much we're just going to leave it in here until the trunk gets about that thick. Also, what I'm probably going to do is go buy another one because I like these so much, and put it in a container or maybe in a cement mixing tub and just compare how thick of a trunk we can get growing it in the ground compared to growing it in a tub. And I think the obvious answer is planting it in the ground is going to thicken it up a lot more, a lot quicker, but I kind of want to see what we can do with just fertilizer alone and a big cement mixing tub. So I'll probably go and do that and maybe have an update in a few weeks or something.